Don't give into that. You're about to go into the National Football League. That's what you're about to do. You're about to get paid. In my eyes, this should be your most selfish time. You need to think about the people that you're involving in your life. How close-knit they are. Do they keep things internal? They're gonna go on social media and express themselves.
When his name was called, I instantly was gonna, if you watch the video, you can see me like, but his mom didn't get up. So I was like, oh, maybe I don't get up, maybe I just sit here with her. So I sat there and then y'all said Coach Prime had to tell me to get up. No, he didn't. He said, go get him. Go get your man. And once Travis stood up, but he didn't have to do that because I was gonna do that anyway.
But for him to be engaged already and for him to be about to get married and he doesn't even have a prenuptial agreement, are you out of your mind, Travis Hunter?
What happens when one of the loudest voices in sports media decides enough is enough? When Stephen A. Smith, famous for fiery debates and unapologetic takes, turns his attention away from the game and straight into the personal life of rising NFL star Travis Hunter, you know it's serious. After clips of Hunter's fiancée crying spread like wildfire and the internet branded her a gold digger, Stephen A. didn't just sit back. He went live, confronted Travis directly, and delivered the kind of tough love and truth that could either save or sink a young couple's future. Here's the setup. Clips of Travis Hunter's fiancée Leanna crying were everywhere. Old videos and alleged DMs from years ago resurfaced right on their wedding weekend, and the internet did what it does. Called her a gold digger, questioned her character, and tried to turn a milestone into a mess. Most media figures would have capitalized on the chaos. Stephen A. did the opposite. He used his platform to slow it down, add context, and protect a young couple clearly in over their heads. Instead of shaming Leanna, he defended her. He pointed out the thing almost no one wanted to hear. Timelines matter. If those clips and messages predate exclusivity, then the scandal collapses on impact. And even if they don't, she's 23. A young woman still learning, still maturing, not some seasoned manipulator running a playbook. He reminded viewers that media literacy isn't optional anymore. It's survival.
Let me tell you something, bro. Listen to Cat Williams. You got 50 haters, man, you should be happy you don't have 100. 200, 500. Alligator skin, bro. Develop more of it. Let it roll right off your chest.
But Stephen A. didn't just talk to the crowd, he talked straight to them. To Leanna, he said, "Stop performing your love for people who will never love you back. The only person who needs proof is the man you chose. Tears on camera don't win sympathy in this climate. They feed trolls, build alligator skin, hold your head up, and keep what matters between the two of you." Then he turned to Travis and got real. Why tell the world she cried herself to sleep? Why hand your enemies the script? You're stepping into the NFL. Money, attention, pressure. This is when your circle gets smaller, your boundaries get stronger, and your private life gets quieter. Keep it in-house. Protect your brand. Protect your wife. Protect your peace. He even co-signed their decision to deactivate Instagram. Sometimes the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing. Step back, breathe, and let the noise burn itself out. Not every battle needs a post. Not every rumor needs a reply. In an era where attention is currency, silence can be strategy. Meanwhile, the celebrity chorus made everything louder. Hot takes from ex-players, comedians, culture commentators, advice masquerading as concern. Stephen A. drew a line. If you care, reach out privately. If you don't, stop auditioning for the algorithm with somebody else's life. That principle, empathy over engagement, was the real headline. He also told Travis to lean on people who've lived this storm and survived it. Dion, Coach Prime. Sanders knows the playbook, and he quoted Cat Williams' classic wisdom: count your haters, then get more. Translation: criticism comes with the territory. Don't internalize it, don't personalize it, outwork it. Here's the uncomfortable truth Stephen A. forced everyone to sit with. A split-second hesitation at the Heisman ceremony, a moment from an OSU game, recycled DMs. These became evidence because the internet rewards suspicion over nuance. But there's no proof of cheating, divorce, or collapse. There's just a young couple figuring out love under stadium lights while strangers keep moving the goalposts.
But for him to be engaged already and for him to be about to get married and he doesn't even have a prenuptial agreement, are you out of your mind, Travis Hunter? No disrespect to the young brother. I'm a fan. But bruh, slow this down.
So, what's the takeaway? If you're Travis, lock the gates, pick your counsel wisely, and let your game talk. If you're Liana, stop auditioning for strangers. Build resilience, not receipts. And if you're the audience, demand context before conclusions. The click isn't worth the cost. She's a young lady, Stephen A. said. Not some seasoned grown woman manipulating situations. Mistakes happen. And that's where his defense hit harder than anyone expected. Because while the internet was busy labeling Liana, Smith was pointing out something more important, the difference between genuine immaturity and malicious intent. But Stephen A. didn't stop at defending her. He went straight at Travis. Why would you tell the world she cries herself to sleep? You think trolls are going to feel sympathy? No, they'll use it as a weapon. That was the wake-up call Hunter needed. Because in an NFL career about to explode with fame, money, and constant media attention, the last thing you can do is hand your critics the very material they'll use to break you down. He hammered home a lesson most athletes learn too late, that in the NFL spotlight, silence can be strategy. By deactivating their Instagram accounts, Travis and Liana weren't running from the smoke. They were cutting off the oxygen that fed the fire. Stephen A. praised the move, reminding them that sometimes the best way to win is to stop playing the game altogether. Don't let the world judge your love, he said. That's between you and her. Then came the part that turned his IG Live from commentary into mentorship. Stephen A. urged Travis to lean on the people who'd already survived this storm. He pointed to Deion coach Prime Sanders as living proof that you can face critics, trolls, and relentless media pressure and still shine. And he quoted comedian Cat Williams, flipping humor into wisdom. Count your haters. If you got 50, you should be wishing for 100. In other words, don't get crushed by the noise. What made this confrontation so powerful wasn't just the advice, it was the heart behind it. In a media world built on clicks and controversy, Stephen A. could have fueled the fire. Instead, he chose compassion. He chose to elevate a young couple when everyone else was tearing them down. And in doing so, he reminded viewers of the bigger picture, that real love, tested under the harshest spotlight, can survive if it's protected by wisdom, resilience, and people willing to stand up for decency. For Travis, that mistake could have cost more than just embarrassment. It could have shaped the public narrative around his entire NFL career before it even started. Because when you're a rookie with millions on the line, endorsements in the pipeline, and the weight of expectations on your shoulders, perception matters. One wrong headline, one viral clip, and suddenly your story isn't about football anymore. It's about your personal life. And Stephen A. Smith knew this better than anyone. That's why his warning wasn't just about protecting Liana. It was about protecting Travis's future. You're about to step into the league, son. This is your most selfish time, he said, meaning focus on your craft, secure your bag, and keep your circle airtight. The people closest to you, they need to understand that loyalty means privacy. No leaks, no live streams, no tearful confessions for millions to dissect. Because once something's public, you can't get it back. But what made Stephen A.'s intervention stand out was that he didn't just scold them, he gave them a playbook. He told Liana to stop trying to prove her love online. He told Travis to stop feeding the trolls. He praised them for deactivating Instagram, calling it a power move rather than a retreat. And he reminded them that silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy. When you walk away from the noise eventually eats itself alive. Then he pointed to living examples. Deion coach Prime Sanders, Travis's mentor, had been dragged through storms of criticism his entire career. From critics calling him flashy and arrogant to pundits doubting his coaching chops, Prime had been in the fire before. And yet, he came out shining. Talk to your coach, Stephen A. urged. That brother knows. They came after him too. That wasn't just advice. It was lineage. And then came the quote that wrapped the whole message in wisdom. Stephen A. borrowed from comedian Cat Williams. If you got 50 haters, you should be praying for 100. Translation, hate isn't proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're winning. The bigger you get, the louder the noise becomes. And instead of running from it, you have to embrace it. Turn the volume of hate into a sign of success. The brilliance of Smith's approach was that he gave Travis and Leanna two lifelines at once: emotional protection and professional survival. He told them how to protect their relationship, and at the same time, he told Travis how to protect his career. That dual message, that love and legacy both need armor, was exactly what the young couple needed to hear. But the ripple effects went beyond just them. Because in calling this out so publicly, Stephen A. was also challenging the culture. He was asking, why do we root for drama more than we root for love? Why do we weaponize a young woman's tears instead of giving her grace? Why do we act like a split-second hesitation or an awkward game day clip is proof of something sinister? And that's where Stephen A.'s wisdom cut deepest, because talent will always open doors, but image decides how long those doors stay open. The NFL isn't just a league of athletes, it's a billion-dollar industry built on narratives. Players don't just carry the ball, they carry brands, endorsements, and entire franchises on their shoulders. One viral misstep, one misunderstood clip, and suddenly that promising rookie becomes a cautionary tale instead of a rising star. That's why Stephen A. pressed so hard. He wasn't trying to embarrass Travis. He was trying to wake him up. You need to know who you're letting in your circle, he said. That wasn't just about Leanna. That was about friends, family, and anyone who might take something private and turn it public. Because the reality is, not everyone clapping for you is rooting for you. And in a world where clicks are currency, even the people closest to you can accidentally or intentionally feed the machine. But here's the thing that set this confrontation apart. Stephen A. didn't dismiss Travis and Leanna's relationship like so many others had. He didn't tell them to split. He didn't say she was the problem. In fact, he did the opposite. He acknowledged their love, called her beautiful, called them a beautiful couple, and wished them nothing but the best. He defended her humanity in a moment where everyone else was attacking it. And that compassion gave his tough love so much more weight. Because let's be real, by the time Stephen A. went live, the celebrity pylon was already in full swing. Ex-NFL stars like Des Bryant had publicly advised Travis to leave Leanna. Social media experts were calling her disloyal. Even cultural commentators like Dr. Umar Johnson had injected racial politics into the conversation, making sweeping claims about interracial relationships and financial risk. Everyone wanted their piece of the story. That's why Smith's intervention mattered so much. He flipped the script. Instead of adding fuel, he poured water on the fire. Instead of exploitation, he chose protection. Instead of clout, he chose conscience. And in today's media landscape, that's rare. He reminded the world that being loud doesn't always mean being right, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to take an unpopular stance rooted in empathy. And let's not forget, Stephen A. himself has lived through this ecosystem. He's been criticized, mocked, and dragged more times than most. He knows what it's like to be misquoted, taken out of context, turned into a meme. That's why his advice to Travis to grow alligator skin wasn't just a cliche, it was survival training. Because if Travis can't learn to let hate roll off his chest, the league, the media, and the trolls will eat him alive. But the biggest takeaway wasn't just about Travis and Leanna, it was about the culture we've created. Stephen A. was essentially asking, why are we so quick to destroy instead of uplift? Why do we cheer for breakups more than marriages, mock vulnerability more than we respect it, and let rumors outweigh facts? His live session turned into a masterclass on how athletes, and really anyone in the public eye, should move in a digital age where privacy is almost impossible. And for Travis Hunter, this was more than just advice. It was a crossroads. Either he takes Stephen A.'s words to heart and learns to separate the game from the noise, or he risks letting outside voices dictate his future. Because in the NFL, the spotlight never dims. And when the light gets brighter, every shadow gets bigger.